Bonsu boxing here with Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Obviously, thank you for coming on my channel. Spike, how's it going? It's been a while since you boxed, I believe since October last year. How have you been finding things?
Good, Mark. Yeah, I'm hoping to get back in the ring in the next couple of months. Most recently called out Nico Ali, son of, or grandson, sorry, of
Yeah,
Muhammad Ali. So hoping to get on the card with Katie Taylor at Grove Park in Ireland. And there's a bit of history there. Muhammad Ali was the only person to ever fight. Well, not the only person, the only he headlined the card back in 1972
yeah,
when he fought at Grove Park. There's never been a fight there since. Now, obviously, Muhammad Ali, the greatest male of all time, top the card there. And now,
yeah,
the greatest female of all time, Katie Taylor's going to top a card there. So I'd like to join that card
yeah. That
and
would be
fight his grandson, which would be really good, I think, you know.
yeah, that would be a really good fight at middleweight. And why do you think, obviously, being that history, Muhammad Ali, what do you think that fight will bring to the fans, knowing that obviously there is sort of that age disparity and like Nico, I guess, is at the sort of beginning, middle part of his career, and you're coming to more the tail end, what would that bring to the fans and yourself?
But I think, obviously, with Nico being an Ali, that would bring a lot of interest. And I'm from Cork as well. Katie
Yeah,
Taylor's from Bray and Dublin. We're all from this different cities, and Cork is the second biggest city in Ireland. So I think it would make sense to have me on the card as well. Bring more, well, bring more interest for them because I know there's a lot of fans from Cork. They're going there as well. They'd love to see him on the card. I've been hearing that a lot since I called out Nico Ali.
yeah. And I definitely think you're a characteristic person. You're very personable and very different from other boxers. So what do you think, for example, you would bring to the card?
But I think it's an interesting fight between me and Nico Ali. I think we're kind of, as just say, I'm a good bit older than him, and I think it'd be a good test for Nico at this stage in his career. And
Yeah.
I fought at a higher level than him so far, and I think now it makes good sense for both of us to fight each other. I think.
And how likely do you think that is, obviously fighting at Croke Park? Have you heard any news from Eddie or anyone from Matchroom?
No, I haven't heard from them yet. My manager, Marky Collins, he said he's been in contact with both of them, and Brian Peters as well, Katie Taylor's promoter manager and or, sorry, manager, I guess. Um, they are interested in me fighting Nico on the card. So I think there's a strong enough chance it could happen.
Yeah.
It depends, I guess, on Nico Ali. And I noticed just earlier there tonight, he's after blocking me from tagging him on
Yeah.
Instagram. So I think maybe he's running a bit scared.
Yeah, sounds like it. And what do you think, for example, obviously being away from such a fight game for a while, how do you keep yourself motivated? Because it's been a while, obviously, since you fought, and maybe if you don't get on the Katie Taylor card, it'll be sort of like nearly maybe a year or so that you haven't fought. So how do you keep yourself motivated?
At the end of the day, it's my job,
Yeah,
and it's my job to earn. I earn my money through boxing, so care for my family. So that's what kind of keeps me motivated, and I enjoy being very fit.
yeah,
Um, I've been boxing my entire life, so I've been boxing since the age of 5. So it's been kind of what I've known really for the most part of my life.
definitely is a sort of lonely sport, but obviously a sport where you can be great at the top and so forth. So in terms of like Croke Park and being 80,000, what do you think? Obviously, a lot of fights are now coming to Dublin. So what do you think, Dublin as well as Ireland? What do you think of that? Are you really proud of sort of the Irish nation and that they're obviously looking at boxing coming there?
Well, we've always been known as the Fighting Irish, I guess, and
Yeah,
I come from the Rebel County in Cork. We've got a good fighting history ourselves, and it's great to see. I think as well as more professional boxers than there ever was in this country. I think the likes of myself and a couple more that we've kind of raised the profile of professional boxing in Ireland, and I think professional boxing is stronger than it ever was. I think there's a few
yeah.
number of world title contenders that they have the quality to kick on and progress very well in their career. I think so. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, it is a definitely fighting country and one to be proud of as well. So obviously, I know looking back at your sort of resume, you fought the likes of Chris Eubank, Heidi Munguia, and David Lemieux. Which one would you say was the toughest fight, and for what reason?
Um, Eubank was strong,
Yeah,
very fit. Pretty good puncher too. Mungie was similar. I think
Yeah,
maybe a bigger puncher than Eubank possibly. Eubank was very physically strong. I was quite surprised by that. There was Landy Lara, I fought him as well. And Joe Saunders, both two great so-called world champions.
yeah,
They were very difficult fighters to deal with as well. I, I find it really hard to pick
yeah,
between them all. They all have different, very good attributes. They all had very good attributes in their own different ways, and they're all very good in their own right. I find it difficult to pick the
yeah.
best one of the bunch.
And are you quite surprised that Chris still wants to carry on, being that obviously he had the tough fight against Connor, and he has obviously made loads of millions and he's recently become a father.
I didn't know he became a father. Congratulations to him,
Yeah,
and I'm not surprised he wants to continue on. I think he's still got a lot to offer to the game, and
yeah,
I think he was weight trained badly. The Conor Ben fight,
yeah,
really, really badly, and I think obviously if the catch bait wasn't there. I don't think Ben would go past maybe 3 or 4 rounds. It's obviously the hydration clause won the fight for Ben. I don't think Ben is Newbank's lead, to be
yeah.
honest.
And looking
I think
past,
when he's fully hydrated, he doesn't
yeah,
have to be have that weight stipulation in place. Like he's still got a lot of fight left in him, and do some good things in boxing still, in my opinion.
yeah. And looking past, maybe if you don't get the Nico Ali Walsh fight, would you sort of go to look at a world title, European title, or Irish middleweight title?
I have no idea really. I haven't really thought
Yeah,
about it too much. I was thinking it's going to be a historic night with Katie Taylor
yeah,
that particular night in Grove Park on September 5th. And there wasn't too many fights really kind of got the juices flowing for me because when you get up for training camp, you got to get up out of bed at 5:30, start hitting the
yeah,
fun and the road runs and all that. And for me, I've kind of been around a long time as well, and there's not that many fights that motivate me to do
yeah,
that. And this one with Nico Ali would, so I haven't really thought about much else. I still haven't given up the ambition of becoming a world champion. So
yeah,
maybe I'll pursue that if I don't get the Nico Ali fight. Who knows?
yeah. And what would you say is your favorite sort of stadium or arena you fought in?
Geez, I found a couple of good ones at Upton
Yeah,
Park. And what part of England are you from, Mark?
London.
London, yeah, I fought at Upton Park there back in
Yeah.
2012. But actually, it happened to be on my birthday as well, the 14th of July, Upton Park, where West
Oh,
Ham United
nice.
used to play football. That was nice.
Yeah,
See, Madison Square Garden is quite an iconic venue. And, I fought in Texas against Jaime
yeah,
Munguia in San Antonio there in the Alamo Dome Stadium. It's quite an impressive stadium.
yeah,
Um, Popped the car that night fighting him there. It was quite an interesting atmosphere. And also, when I fought Arizona Lara in Brooklyn, at the Barclays Centre. That was a hell of a stadium too. I don't know. Not sure. I actually fought in this place as well. Little place in Boston. I think it was in.
okay,
Yeah, fought in a lot of them anyway.
yeah. But I'm guessing the obviously dream venue would be Croke Park and being in front of that
Yeah, I
80,000.
think that would top it all for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what do you think that would bring for the Irish people, knowing that it's going to be a historical night and very sort of emotional night, being Katie Taylor's last fight?
I think it's going to be a very exciting night and talk for forevermore. It's a lot of people from Cork, and actually, for some reason, the little poster I got made up and put out there that they thought I was on the card, and they bought tickets that they thought I was fighting, that they thought the fight was
Yeah.
done deal. But my apologies to anyone that bought tickets and thought that I was actually fighting.
Okay.
It's just applied to try and get the fight, and
Yeah.
I think if I get added to the card, popular Irish fighter in Ireland, then I think it adds to the card a lot.
And what are your sort of ambitions, be it that basically, sorry, I mean, let me read that. What made you actually get into boxing? Because obviously it's sort of a lonely sport, it's a hard, tough man sport, and sometimes parents don't want their kids getting into it.
Yeah, that's like me. I turn my kids away from it all the time. They've been asking me for many years, but I kind of just guide them in
Yeah,
different directions towards the other sports. They play many, many sports, but just not boxing. I teach them a little bit at home, a little bit just
yeah,
for self defense, just a bit of confidence and whatnot. But I got into it myself. My father boxed, and I've been boxing since 5 years of age, and I used to get up early, the early hours of the morning. My father would wake me up out of bed when I was a young youngish kid, probably teens and all in my teens, to watch the fights from America. Like
Yeah.
probably field fight from 1996. I was in 12 at that time.
Okay.
I remember watching all those fights, and I grew up with boxing, and I've been boxing my entire life. So
Yeah. And what would you say for a young Irish fighter coming up, the sort of advice you'll give to them lastly?
it's a tough road.
Yeah.
To be sure about it, that you really want to do it. You want to really, really want to do it, because if you don't, you'll be found out. It's testing inside, outside the ring.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly tough journey, and say I wouldn't like my children to go through what I had to go through. So that's why I try to keep them away from it. Not only in the ring and then training so hard, and getting so many injuries over the year, like
Yeah.
broken ribs, loads of stuff. And just the advice I would give: be prepared for long, hard, lonely road.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Thank you very much for your time, Spike. And I hope you obviously get that fight in Croke Park. That would be a good event to be at.
Here, Mark. Thanks very much. Fingers crossed I get on it. Just on the playground here with my kid. It's really sunny weather here in Cork, Ireland at the moment, so we got to make the most of these evenings. So my apologies to everybody that I'm outdoors, and maybe just the big background noise that here in the playground. But I hope you all have a good evening anyway. I gotta get there and play a bit of football with my kid.